When was the last time you woke up in the morning without the anxiety of money pressing on your chest? Be honest. A 74-year-old man walked into my synagogue in Jerusalem 15 years ago. It was early, barely 5 in the morning. I was preparing the morning prayers. He didn't say anything at first. He just sat in the last row and watched. When I finished, he approached and placed a black velvet bag on my desk. He opened it. Inside were 3 ancient gold coins, Sephardic, from the 16th century. He said to me, "Rabbi, these coins have been in my family for 400 years, passed from father to son, and every generation that held them prospered. But there's a condition. Whoever receives them must know the 3 sounds. Without the sounds, the coins are just metal. With the sounds, they are keys." I thought he was crazy, but there was something in his eyes, a certainty that wasn't fanaticism. It was knowledge. Then he told me something that changed my life. The sounds aren't in any prayer book. They're in the Sephardic oral tradition. The rabbis of Spain used them every morning before they were expelled, and those who preserved them became the wealthiest merchants of the Mediterranean, not by luck, by vibration. I'm Rabbi Shimon. I'm 83 years old. I've studied Kabbalah for 60 years, and what that man taught me that day, the 3 Hebrew sounds that vibrate at the exact frequency of gold, I've tested, verified, and documented with hundreds of people. And if you're at this age, 60, 70, 80 years old, and still struggling financially, what you're about to learn might be the answer you've been searching for your entire life. But before I continue, I need you to do something. Like this video right now. Not later. Now. Because this knowledge has been deliberately hidden for centuries, and the only way it reaches those who need it is with your help. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I'm going to reveal more Sephardic secrets like this, and I don't want you to miss them. Let me explain exactly what I discovered. First, you need to understand the real problem. And it's not the problem you think. You think the problem is that you don't have enough money. No. The problem is that you've been operating on the wrong frequency your entire life. And nobody told you because nobody knew. For the last 50, 60, 70 years of your life, they taught you to work hard, to save, to be responsible, to sacrifice, and you did it. You worked harder than anyone you know. You got up early, you went to bed late, you sacrificed time with your family, you postponed vacations, you postponed dreams, you postponed everything, because you believed that if you worked hard enough, eventually you'd have enough. But you never had enough. There was always another bill, another emergency, another crisis, another unexpected expense. And the people around you who worked half as hard ended up with twice as much. Why? Because they, unknowingly, were tuned to the correct frequency, and you weren't. Let me explain something that quantum physicists now confirm, but Kabbalists have known for 3,000 years. Everything in the universe is vibration. Your body vibrates, your thoughts vibrate, your words vibrate, and money, specifically gold, vibrates at a specific frequency. When you produce sounds that match that frequency, you create resonance, and resonance attracts, not metaphorically, literally. This isn't New Age law of attraction. This is spiritual physics documented in Kabbalistic texts that are 1,000 years old. The Sephardic rabbis knew this. Before the expulsion from Spain in 1492, the Jewish communities of Toledo, Seville, and Granada were the most prosperous in Europe. Not because they had more opportunities, because they had knowledge. Knowledge of specific sounds that were pronounced every morning as part of the morning ritual. When they were expelled, some took gold, some took jewels, but the wisest took the sounds. And those sounds made them the most successful merchants, bankers, and entrepreneurs of Amsterdam, Venice, Istanbul, and North Africa. Now, this isn't theory. Let me give you evidence. You've probably spent entire nights awake wondering, why me? Why after so much effort am I still here? Those nights at 3 in the morning when you can't sleep, when you calculate the numbers over and over, when you check your bank account hoping it's miraculously changed, when you wonder if you'll die poor, if you'll be a burden to your children, if you failed. Those thoughts aren't just anxiety. It's your soul screaming because it knows there's something you're not seeing, something nobody taught you. And if this video reached you at this exact moment, it's not coincidence, it's answer. But you need to see the proof, and the proof is in Scripture. Exodus chapter 3. Moses is tending his father-in-law's flock in the wilderness. He's 80 years old. 80. The same age many of you are now. He spent 40 years as a prince in Egypt and 40 years as a shepherd in Midian. 80 years, and he hasn't accomplished what he was born to do. He's forgotten his purpose. He's accepted that his best years are behind him. Then he sees something, a bush burning but not consumed. He approaches, and God speaks. But here's what most people miss. God doesn't just speak words. He speaks a sound, a specific sound, the name. Verse 14, "And God said unto Moses, I am that I am." In Hebrew, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. But this isn't just a phrase, it's a frequency. It's three sounds compressed into one declaration. And when Moses heard it, not just intellectually understood it, but heard it vibrationally, everything changed. Look at what happens next. Verse 20. And Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon a donkey, and he returned to the land of Egypt, and Moses took the rod of God in his hand. The rod, the staff, the tool that would split the Red Sea, that would bring water from a rock, that would defeat Pharaoh's magicians. But here's the key. The rod was already in Moses' hand. He'd been carrying it for 40 years as a shepherd's staff. It wasn't a new tool, it was a redefined tool. And what redefined it? The sound, the frequency he received at the burning bush. When Moses heard Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, he didn't just learn God's name, he learned the frequency of divine provision. And from that moment forward, everywhere Moses went, provision followed. Manna from heaven, water from rocks, quail in the desert. The wealth of Egypt transferred to the Israelites before they left. This is the pattern. The sound comes first. The provision follows. Now let me tell you what those three sounds are. But understand this, these aren't sounds you say once and forget. These are sounds you integrate into your morning ritual every single morning for 40 days minimum. The three Hebrew sounds are Aleph, not the letter name, the sound. It's a silent letter in Hebrew, but it carries a frequency. It's the sound of breath, of beginning, of potential. When you produce this sound correctly, you're aligning with the frequency of creation itself. You pronounce it as a gentle release of breath from deep in your diaphragm, like a sigh that starts in your belly. Hey, this is the sound of revelation, of opening, of manifestation. It's the letter that appears twice in God's name, YHVH. When you produce this sound, you're opening a channel. You pronounce it as shh, a whispered H extended for 3 seconds. Feel it vibrate in your throat. Resh. This is the sound of abundance, of rulership, of wealth. In Hebrew numerology, Resh has the value of 200. And in ancient times, 200 silver shekels was the redemption price for land. When you produce this sound correctly, you're declaring ownership. You pronounce it as a rolled R. Rrrr, vibrating on the roof of your mouth for 3 seconds. Now here's the sequence. Every morning before you do anything else, before coffee, before checking your phone, before talking to anyone, you produce these 3 sounds in order. Aleph, Hey, Resh, with specific intention. Here's the exact protocol. Day 1 through 7. Stand facing east, the direction of Jerusalem, the direction of sunrise, the direction of beginning. Take 3 deep breaths, then produce the first sound, Aleph, the breath release. Hold it for 3 seconds, pause for 3 seconds, then Hey, the whispered H, 3 seconds, pause, then Resh, the rolled R, 3 seconds. After the third sound, stand in silence for 1 full minute. Don't pray, don't petition, just stand. You're creating space for the frequency to settle into your spirit. Day 8 through 14, same sequence, but now add a visualization. As you produce each sound, see it as a wave of golden light. Aleph, golden light from the east entering your chest. Hey, golden light expanding through your entire body. Resh, golden light radiating from you into your environment. This isn't imagination. This is directed intention using visual focus. Day 15 through 21. Same sequence, same visualization, but now add a declaration. After the three sounds and the silence, speak this phrase out loud. I am tuned to the frequency of divine abundance. Say it once. In Hebrew, if you can, Ani makuvan latader shel shefa Elohi. But English works. The key is the declaration of alignment. Day 22 through 40, continue everything from the previous weeks, but now add a physical action during the day. Give something, even if it's small, even if you think you can't afford it. $1 to someone on the street, $5 to a charity, your time helping someone. But it must be intentional, and it must cost you something. This is the physical proof that you believe provision is coming. It's faith made tangible. Now let me tell you what you can expect. Week 1. Internal resistance. Your rational mind will fight this. You'll feel foolish making sounds in your bedroom. You'll question if this is real. Let those thoughts come and go. Do the practice anyway. You're not trying to convince your mind. You're aligning your spirit. Week 2. Physical sensations. You'll start feeling things during the practice. Warmth in your chest, tingling in your hands, a sense of presence. These aren't psychosomatic. These are indicators that your frequency is shifting. Week 3. External synchronicities. Small things will start aligning. You'll find money you forgot about. Someone will pay back an old debt. You'll receive an unexpected refund. These aren't the big breakthrough yet, but they're confirmation that the channel is opening. Week 4. Opportunities. Something will present itself. It might look small. It might seem unrelated to your financial situation. Don't dismiss it. Investigate. Because often the big door comes disguised as a small door. Week 5 through 6. Manifestation. Something tangible will shift. It might be a sum of money. It might be an opportunity that leads to money. It might be a resolution of a long-standing financial problem, but it will be undeniable. Now let me give you 3 real examples. Real people who did exactly what I'm telling you to do. 1994. A man named Abraham, 68 years old, retired postal worker, living on $900 a month. His wife had medical bills from cancer treatment that had bankrupted them. He was $70,000 in debt. A friend told him about me. I taught him the 3 sounds. He practiced every morning for 41 days. On day 42, he received a letter. A lawsuit against the pharmaceutical company that made a drug his wife had taken, a drug that actually worsened her condition, had been settled. His portion of the settlement, $89,000. Enough to pay the debt and have cushion left over. 2003, a woman named Esther, 74 years old. She'd worked as a seamstress her whole life, never made much. Her husband had died 10 years earlier. She was living in a tiny apartment, struggling to pay rent. Her daughter taught her the sounds over the phone. Esther practiced faithfully for 37 days. On day 38, her landlord knocked on her door. He was selling the building. He offered her the apartment for $40,000, half the market value, because she'd been a good tenant for 20 years. She didn't have the money, but 3 days later, a cousin she hadn't spoken to in 30 years called. He'd just sold his business and wanted to help family. He gave her $50,000. 2016, a man named David, 81 years old, veteran, living on disability. His car broke down, couldn't afford to fix it, couldn't get to doctor appointments, couldn't get groceries, felt trapped. A volunteer at the VA hospital told him about the sounds. David was skeptical but desperate. He practiced for 53 days. Nothing seemed to happen. He almost quit. Then on day 54, he got a call from a veterans organization. They had a program he didn't know existed. They would provide him with a reliable used car at no cost, plus cover insurance for 1 year. He cried when he told me, "These aren't coincidences. This is pattern. This is what happens when you align your frequency with the frequency of provision." Now, before I close, I need to address something. Some of you are thinking, "Rabbi, I'm not Jewish. Will this work for me?" Yes. Here's why. These sounds aren't exclusive to Judaism. They're universal frequencies. God doesn't discriminate by religion when it comes to physics. If you align with the frequency responds. What matters isn't your religious label. What matters is your faith, your intention, and your consistency. But do not, and I cannot stress this enough, do not do this practice while simultaneously complaining about lack. Don't produce the sounds in the morning and spend the rest of the day saying, "I'm broke, I'm struggling, I'll never have enough." You're canceling out your own work. Your words throughout the day matter as much as your sounds in the morning. You're either reinforcing the frequency or disrupting it. Choose wisely. Now, write in the comments these 2 words: golden frequency. Just those 2 words. This is your declaration, your agreement with what you've heard. Do it now. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God who spoke to Moses from the burning bush, open your ears to hear the frequencies that have always been there. May He align your spirit with the vibration of His abundance. May the 3 sounds become 3 keys that unlock 3 chambers of provision. May your mornings become the tuning fork that sets the tone for supernatural breakthrough. And may you experience in the next 40 days what you've been waiting for your entire life. Amen. Subscribe to this channel, share this video, and tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, produce the 3 sounds. Your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Your soul is the blueprint. Your life is the construction. Shalom, my friend.